Right, so let's move. We just did file 1 and 2 in chapter 1 here. Let's move on to file 3 in chapter 1. So again, starting off the exact same way, file 3. If we extract all, extract that. We open him up. And again, we know that our algorithm is something to deal with rotation as the final thing. In English, it's select the mouth and rotate. We're going to keep going with that. The mechanics of it stay the same. The data changes. Okay, so here's the big deal is, again, what's my first instinct? Please sit here and investigate what this thing actually is. If I go to details, I can see exactly what it is. It's a block. So what's our first idea here? Normally, again, it should become a habit. You check out the data, and then you can come over here, and you can type block. Now, in this case, I have some tools from some extra third-party plugins that will deal with blocks. Don't use these third-party plugins right off the bat. We're learning the basics. So in this case, if you did this and you type in block, you will not find anything. So what will you do? You'll go over to grasshopper3d.com and you'll type in reference block to Grasshopper. Okay? Let's see what results come up. If you just kind of search for it, is this one right here. David Rutten's the one who created Grasshopper, guys, so this is a good guy. If you see him in one of the conversations, he knows what he's talking about. Is it possible to operate on blocks in Grasshopper? David Rutten, no. We're done, right? And you sit here and you now say you have a choice to make. You can choose to say, well, that means I can't do the problem, or you can get a bit more clever. So you can sit here and say, this thing should be working no matter what. I shouldn't have to click anything. I shouldn't have to do anything different. Or you can say, hey, here's what I need to do. I need to get clever and realize that maybe it's not all going to be on this side of things. Maybe I just have to get clever in the way that I need to get back to the kind of data that Grasshopper can handle for my particular script. So in this situation, what can I do? Well, if you're familiar with CAD in any way, shape, or form, you know that you can always get out of a block its underlying geometry. And if you followed the lesson so far, data is a big thing. And the key is we need to get this stuff back to something that Grasshopper can take in, which in this case, we've been exposed to the ability of Grasshopper to take in geometry, namely curves. So if we explode this block and take him apart, and we find curves, we're back in business. So in Grasshopper, if you click middle mouse wheel and you go to this guy right here, you will have effectively exploded the block, and now we can investigate to say, what is it that I have? And lo and behold, the arc is still king here. So in this case, now we can do the right click, set one curve, and if we go to red mode, he's done it. And again, I'll hide the input curve. And that's file number 3. Again, is never going to be, very rarely is it, that you get to just, oh, I open the file and there's no curation or cleaning of the data or understanding of the data. The onus is on you to open that file, understand it, and if there's something that you need to do with it over here, the key thing to remember is you might say, well, that's not computational because it didn't happen over on the right side in Grasshopper. That's not really true, because to me computational is getting the computer to do work for you relatively quickly, whether it's one smiley frowning face or 10,000. If I gave you 10,000 frowning faces, how hard would it be for you to do a control A and an explosion? It would happen just as quickly, yes? So the key is that's what we're going to scale up to, and it becomes more and more important just to remember, hey, listen, you don't necessarily need to be using this or Dynamo to be working intelligently and working in a computational way. And the thing to remember in chapter 1, once again, is the habit of what is the data I've been given, what are the tools available to me, what can I do with that data with the tools available to me, and getting clever on how to basically massage that data into a format that is useful for you. Much like we did with this curve, converting it to a point. Again, I'll go into green mode. Much like we did converting this curve into this plane, right? We've now converted this block out here into a curve so that we could play the entire game. So that is file 3.